the hour.
It's not by the hour.
I have no idea how they build that stuff. It comes out, if it was 2,500 a year, I'd have it on my own, I'd have my own office. It's not 2,500 a year. And then if there's things outside, depends what plan you get, and if it's outside your scope, they charge you by the minute, they charge you by the page, they charge you by the document.
Charge you guys.
Paper you make makes money.
Yeah,
That's what they charge us.
right.
It's a big pain in the butt, but.
I don't know that the question is what they charge. I think the question was why they were pursuing it in the first place. If the action just took place this evening to pursue the enforcement of the resolution.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, why were you already researching it? Who told you to research it?
Yeah.
Dennis told me to research.
Honesty of
Okay,
the.
Look, wait a minute, guys. You're all making this out, you're trying to gaslight me here, and it's not gonna work.
Actually, you are totally misreading this. You are
Then tell me.
From my end, the question isn't, the question is not what you did to research it. The question is why, if the decision was just made in the executive session to enforce the resolution,
Okay.
why was it built? Why
that's
was
what I'm gonna tell
the
you.
law? Okay.
We have 28 different municipalities. You have to do your work to be prepared for the meetings. If people want you to do stuff, there's stuff that goes on in between the meetings, you gotta be prepared for them. I don't know what happened to get to this actual thing. But when I get the assignment that says, hey, figure out how to enforce this thing, I go figure out how to enforce it. Yeah, somebody has to.
But wait a minute,
The
hang on one
question is
second.
who authorizes it.
But wait a minute,
I'm not
but-
hiding anything.
but you
guys have to authorize it.
We have an understanding with Dennis
Yeah,
that a majority of the board, because we were trying to get a handle on these legal fees.
right.
Back in December, Dennis agreed, without a majority of the board okaying it, you would do no billable research.
That's right, and he tells me all the time, don't do it without authorization.
What
So I
happened
don't.
here?
And I'll tell you what else, I got 2 stacks of files up here that nobody's billed anything for.
So what
I'll even
happened
take-
here?
I'll even take that out. I don't know, Ed. I got the assignment to go research this, so the only
Somebody on that
three,
side of the table knows.
somebody on that side, the other three must authorize it. But that's the way it works.
Pause for 1 second. Just a logical question. Is there anything on there that says that hour for that bill to enforce the resolution is for the resolution that you're talking about, that you passed last month, that you're trying to enforce tonight? Does it
That
say
is
it's
what
for
it's
that
for.
resolution?
That is what it's for, because they
Okay.
asked me, how do we enforce this? I said,
No,
well,
you
heck,
said the how to enforce resolutions. There's been a ton of
Dennis asked
resolutions.
me.
What I'm saying, might be
That's the
jumping
one
the
that it's
horse, putting the
for.
cart ahead of the
No,
horse.
that's the one that it's for.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one that it's for. I'm not trying to hide anything.
He's
I'm not
trying-
saying you are. What
He
I'm
is
saying
asking
is,
who asked Dennis. He wants to know who.
Yeah,
the
I'm not,
supervisor's
this
contact
question
with
doesn't go to a law firm, this goes
Yeah,
to
he's
the-
not
the-
asking you, Chris.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, I want you to
I'm just trying
understand
to
something, Chris.
answer.
We all make
He
mistakes.
doesn't want your
I
answer.
voted for most of the people on that side of the table. Believe you me, I understand mistakes get made. Absolutely.
Oh, there's no mistake here.
Believe me. Believe me. Okay?
I gave him the right
My-
answer, that's
my-
no mistake.
No, what I'm saying is, people on that side of the table, maybe you should move away from the table. Somebody on that side of the table knows good and darn well somebody had to call and get a hold of Dennis to tell him to go ahead to instruct you. My question is not why, my question is not that you did it, my question is, why was it, if this decision was just made in the last hour and a half, that they were in executive session, why was the order already given to the legal team to go ahead and pursue it? That's my question. And the question is not aimed to you.
I understand that. The question,
So
you have a 2-part question, actually. The first question
No, he
is
has a one
why.
part, and he's.
But I'm not,
no.
Chris,
Because
I
the
think
why
the
is
world of you,
2 parts.
but I'm not asking you.
I understand, I'm just trying to help.
I know you're
I'll stop.
trying to help.
The only thing I can tell you is what I know, and I know I didn't authorize it.
Me neither. Now, we
okay.
didn't get anybody else to confess, but.
We voted you people on your
No,
character.
you said you'd have to check and you were out of
You don't
town.
need no.
And you said you'd have to check
your.
your emails and the one down there didn't answer at all.
Okay?
Don't call Dennis.
Thank you, that's really all I wanted. Thank you very much.
You know what, I'll say this too. While everybody's here and everybody's listening, I'll say it in public, because I give them enough free hours on the phone or whatever, and I'll do it now. If it turns out that we jumped the gun and we didn't have 3 votes, I'll give you that hour free out of my own time. I'll tell everybody right now, I have no problem with that.
That's
that's
very
all the issue
admirable,
is.
but that's not your fault. The
I
fact of the
don't
matter
know.
is, there's a supervisor up there that's wanting to ram this down a whole bunch of people's throats, but he won't open his freaking mouth, and he won't, and everybody else is sitting up there like they've been, like the cat's got their tongue, but the fact is, somebody had to authorize it,
That's right, come on.
and ain't nobody answering.
And
I
that
mean,
person
we
you
elected, I
yourself.
mean, when we went through this, and I stumped at the polls for you guys, talking about transparency. So, does somebody want to answer a question? Thank you. Thank you to the supervisors that did.
Anybody else?
Call for a vote.
Got a motion and a second. Read the motion back, it's been a long discussion.
It's a resolution determining supervisor in violation of resolution number, whatever it is, and authorizing enforcement of resolution number, whatever, by
Written mandamus.
order of the Court of Common Pleas.
No, it is a motion
That's your
to
words,
authorize the drafting of the resolution.
Draft.
He changed it.
No, that was notes to read from. I think he asked me to actually read it out loud.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. How do you vote?
Mike,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Kathy,
No.
Doug,
Yes.
Ed,
No. You done?
I'm gonna triple my efforts to make sure I get 3 votes no. I don't believe me.
What was that vote count?
3 to 2.
3
3
to
to
2.
You want to do the police officer motion?
Yeah, motion to authorize Chief Yankovic to solicit applications for a part-time police officer. You want to narrow the list down to a couple possibilities?
Do you want it for the next meeting?
Yeah, we'd like to interview them.
Absolutely. I'll have you list.
Okay. Any motion for that or not?
I don't think you would. would
You're
you?
not doing any hiring, you're not doing any
I mean, it's an
spending money.
existing list, I'm just gonna go through it and pick candidates.
So just, we don't need a motion.
You're spending big money on advertisement.
There's gonna be no advertising.
He's gonna screen them first.
No, he's not gonna advertise.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
No, I'll pull from our existing,
No,
whatever we have.
Yeah,
I'll
we're
go
not
back.
spending any money on it.
All right, I got a couple of things. First of all, the road crew guys want 2 of these straps. They come with clevises, they're $295 a piece. They said they need them to move the Jersey barrier.
Yeah, I move that we expend, was it about $600?
We have the clamp.
We got the
Oh, that's
plan.
for the clamp.
Yes.
I got it.
Let's get a second and then we'll discuss it.
Second.
Anybody want a second?
Second.
All right. I will say for a matter of discussion, Steve has secured a 15,000 pound chain that he says will work. The road crew guys want this, $600. If it makes them more comfortable, you know, whatever, but
It's fine.
I tried at the beginning of the month to find one, and we couldn't find anybody locally who carried one that was short enough to use.
yeah, they said they could make 3-footers work because
Yeah.
when I talked to this guy, they don't make,
Yeah, ones around here were all like 25 foot, which was really,
well, they wanted 18-inch ones, but they don't make them, so. All right. That's it for my discussion part of it.
Is that out of the general fund? Right?
Huh? Yeah, I guess out of general fund. Got a motion and a second. Anybody got any questions? How do you vote?
Mike,
Yep.
Tammy,
yes,
Kathy,
yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ed.
Yeah. All right,
I forgot. I got another one when you get it all.
Good.
Chief slipped me this, request for Jeremy Rush to attend, the shooting instructor training,
Yes.
cost of about
Under $1,000.
under $1,000. And we actually can pay for that, move that out of Act 13 or not?
Yes.
Yeah, you
At
can.
least,
Yeah.
Yes.
we pay for it out of Act 13. Motion to approve.
I second.
He's just got enough.
Got a
for
motion and a second.
Are we
Discussion?
gonna be able to train other people, other departments as well? I mean,
I guess we would.
Is
be.
that something we used to do with North Franklin?
So yeah, he could actually provide, he could qualify.
Similar
as a partner.
services?
Yeah.
Anybody else? How do you vote?
Mike,
Yep.
Tammy,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, motion to advertise for summer help for the road crew.
Second.
Discussion?
We talked about starting in June or May or school's out.
Do something.
Nobody has any
No.
questions? How do you vote?
Mike,
Yeah.
Tammy,
Yeah.
Kathy,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ed.
Yeah. I have a motion to, well, I'd like to schedule a public workshop to get this, tax rebate legislation done. We're hung up on it. Maybe, I think it would be good for the public to see the process anyway, but maybe more heads will prevail. And I'd like to advertise the meeting, and I'd also like to have somebody from the county come.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion.
Have you talked to somebody from the county, or what do you, just somebody from the tax office, or is that what you're thinking? I'm good with that.
You want to pick a date, or you want, I guess, pass the motion first, I guess. Anybody got any discussion? Yeah.
Do you anticipate that to be something that would take an amount of time, 1, 2, 3 hours or something like
I
that?
really got no clue. We've
Because-
worked on it a little bit, and to no avail.
It's been,
Okay, the reason I asked that question is, why couldn't something like that be incorporated into a township meeting like tonight? Where it,
10 o'clock now.
Yeah, 'cause it's
Yeah.
10 o'clock right
yeah,
now.
I asked that up front.
Yeah.
But if we do this at the workshop.
The problem is, Frank, nobody gives the money back, and nobody knows how to do it correctly. I mean, there's all kind of theories and all kind of problems that it makes for the tax collector and different things, so we all need to,
You get to those.
you know.
You just lowered the millage.
Well, the problem runs into, on that, Tom, is you would be given the breaks to, a quarter of the breaks would go to Range Resources and Consol Coal. We don't want to give them a break. We want to just give the citizens that live here a break. You know what I'm saying?
The idea was to, I firmly believe that the Act 13 money is for you guys, for everybody that
Yep.
follows 4 water trucks home from work every night and has to deal with the dust and the noise and the potholes and all that. That's what that should be for.
Yes.
And that was the idea originally. Not for people that own property here and live out of state, not for people that, utility companies and coal companies and all that. So we're
Yeah,
trying to
like
target.
why would you want?
get into discrimination on these things?
No.
I don't think so, because tax things are always targeted. Is it discrimination
Yeah,
that?
we tax people that
That
smoke.
somebody that, yeah, is it discrimination that somebody that's 70 years old can make a whole bunch more money and not pay as much tax on it because they're on social security or, you know?
that's not so.
Yeah.
Have you ever been anywhere that set this up,
Only Center
Center Township?
Township, they did tax relief.
West Finley did it locally,
We
you,
don't have
you
West
weren't on it,
Finley.
I know, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying West
A
Finley.
lot of them, what we were saying is that they changed the millage.
But,
Yeah.
but they don't have the issue with, we have with the people owning the property.
You know, that was what we.
Didn't you just
Who
say
does?
something similar?
Maybe his contact with the county will have the right answer.
Yeah, we have a problem with coal mine and rain.
West Finley does too.
The same thing or
So the
am I-
center, they have a lot of coal property down there, yeah, that's.
See, I don't wanna give it to them.
When they did.
No, they didn't
changed
either.
that. They changed
You
that.
should call, you should call.
What
those
would you
guys.
be getting, Mike? Hey, Mike,
Uh,
what would you be giving Range for what they've put in this community? I mean, what's,
They don't
I
want
mean,
it
I
anyway.
don't, I work for them and I don't like them.
They don't want it anyway. They don't,
Yeah, but I'm.
we're just trying to benefit the people that it affects, that's all.
But you don't
Harry
have
Gillespie.
property in the township, do they?
He's the supervisor at center, I think you guys should call, talk to him about.
Especially like Mark West and,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying, I was just using that as an example.
Let's just pick
What
a
is
date, then we can fight
Yeah.
about it then.
Yeah.
All right,
Mark West, I don't think they own that property.
so what, well, first we're gonna pass it and then we'll pick a date.
Yeah.
All right. So the motion is to advertise a public workshop
Someone from the county.
to work on, and to have somebody from the county come and to work on the tax relief legislation.
For
All right. Motion and a second, how do you vote?
year and
Yeah, huh?
Next year.
year?
Well, I think the ship has sailed for this year.
I was just gonna say that.
That's why I wanna get off the dime here, so,
Mike,
but that's details that
Well,
will,
once we can make it retroactive.
all right. How do you vote?
Mike.
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ed,
Yeah.
I will pick a date. So we
All right,
can
now,
advertise.
yeah, you wanna pick a date for the advertisement? You wanna do it?
I think you should wait until you hear when you can get somebody from the tax.
Yeah.
Coordinate itself first before you set the date.
Can you
Well,
do that?
you can advertise the meeting when you find it out.
Yeah.
Part of your advertisement.
All right, so we're not picking a date right now then?
Okay.
To be announced, date to be announced when we get a hold of everybody. All right, Mike, you had.
Yeah, I wanna, motion to contract Jamie Harshman, he's our second engineer, to spec the electrical for the maintenance garage. Not to exceed $2,000. He said it would be way less than
I
that,
guess
so
I
I
can
wanna,
tell you.
he did not have time to come down and look at it to give me an estimate. He said
I'll
the
second.
average about
You making a
about
motion?
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Not to exceed what?
2,000.
Out of,
Can we take that out of the LS, or
No. I mean, the one we just approved?
the,
yeah.
yeah,
I don't think. I mean, that's down the road.
that's part of the project,
Yeah, it's part of the project, but I don't know if we can access that
We'll
money
just-
this quickly.
okay.
I think what we could do is keep them, we could have Sharon.
We might put a
separate
reimbursement as
list,
part of the.
Reimbursement
Yeah.
is
We could
part,
reimburse
Yeah.
that later.
because it's part of the project that we're just talking about. That's be the
We
phase
just
We won't
one
get
of.
that money that soon, that's all.
No, but there's money in there from
We'll just
before,
add
we
it
still
to
have
the
money.
minutes, and
Well,
then
you have to get county's approval to spend it that way, though.
Oh, okay.
If you wanna get it done quickly, you need.
No, I wanna get it done quickly, we've
Then you
been
need
jerking,
to-
I mean,
Do it out of Act 13 or.
yeah, that's fine, Act 13.
What's the motion?
Motion is to contract Jamie Harshen to spec the electrical service for the maintenance garage.
Paid out of Act 13.
Paid out Act 13, not to exceed $2,000.
Got a motion?
I second it, yeah.
Got a motion and a second. Anybody got anything they wanna say?
That's that, if you're,
Why?
you're saying,
No, I said that I don't,
Can
we
you,
reimburse Act 13 from the LSA, would be my question.
oh,
We won't need nothing. No, $2,000.
can we get a spec or something on the insulation along with that? It'd be a whole lot simpler to insulate that building before you put the electrical in.
can I send you a special vote?
Well, I'm sure hard to do both.
yeah, it's gonna be more money than that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that if you guys want.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
I was just trying to get the electric service put in so we could get the doors to open up and.
Electrical and insulation.
You want to amend your motion or make a second one?
Yeah,
Amend your
just
motion, pay it out of the general fund, and then we'll try to reimburse everything from,
general from that.
yeah, from LSA.
All right.
Still 2,000?
No,
No, it'll be more than that.
yeah, I don't,
Make it 5,000.
yeah.
All right, read the motion again.
Motion to contract Jamie Harshman to spec the electrical service for maintenance garage
And
and installation
insulation.
and what?
Insulation.
Insulation, sorry. Not to exceed 5,000 paid for out of general fund.
And Mike made the motion, you're still seconding it?
Yeah.
And we're gonna vote.
Sorry, Trey.
How do you
General
vote?
not to exceed 5.
Mike,
Yes.
Yes.
Tammy, Kathy,
Yes,
it's my bedtime.
it is.
Doug,
Yeah.
Ed,
Yeah.
Mike, you have on your list to send a letter to Tunnel Ridge.
Yes, I do. I still have one other. So, like I stated in the, and just to go back to the water and sewage thing, we had a company on Greaves Road contact us about dumping sewage at the plant, and John said no because of something in the something in what they wanted to dump. So he said they have to come back with some reports on what's in it before. I forgot that in the sewage report. But in the sewage report, I said, we have one E1 pump left on the shelf, and John says it's gonna have to be installed fairly soon. So we'd like to buy 2 to have on the shelf, so we're not scrambling.
Approximately cost 5,000.
Rough cost is around 5,000, that's been where
So
they,
moved.
and hold on, and we need a screen for the tank, and 3 risers and 3 lids for the meter pits, and then a couple other various things that he'd like to order to have on hand. It's gonna be approximately $7,500. You'll be under that.
That's the total for everything?
Yes.
I would move that, we spend approximately $7,500 from the, sewer account, I guess.
Sewer account, yes. Sorry, add that, water and sewage.
Okay, we got a motion
That was 2E, 1 pumps, right?
Yes.
and a second.
Screen.
Do we have a second?
Is Mike and-
To spend $7,500, up to $7,500 on the items that the sewer plant needs. Discussion. How do you vote?
Mike,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ed,
Yep.
We need to authorize John to write a letter to Tunnel Ridge to check into seeing if they'll cover some of the police costs, coverage times for the road, you know, since the extra
Cover
traffic.
anything, signage,
Anything.
cost, anything they want to pay
Yeah.
for it. Attorney bills?
Okay.
We got an hour for them already.
All right. I don't think, that don't need a vote, does it? Just authorizing.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Since you're not gonna second it, I'd ask for, I'd like to say that if you want me to do this, I'd rather start it out in conversation than try to
Then a
serve
letter.
them with
Yeah, I'm
some
good with
letter.
No, I'm good with that.
Authorize you to contact.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yep.
yep, and if I need to send a letter, I'll
I
send
don't care if you do it by
Yeah.
smokes.
it.
Okay.
Go over better that way.
The other thing was, I've got a resident, actually there's 2 residents on Highland Avenue. One lives at 80 Highland Avenue, the Clayton residence, and she is legally blind, and there's a young, I'm not sure if it's a young man or young woman, lives close by that's in the same boat. And she was wondering, with all the truck traffic that's running up there, if we could get some signs, just because when she goes to the mailbox or they're outside, she's
I think we bought them before over the years.
to install some
We got
signs.
any signs down there that says blind person in the neighborhood or anything like that? vision impaired or?
Yeah, gotta be politically
Yeah.
correct.
Over the years, we've had that request before.
Can we,
Yeah, I move that we purchase two of them. Two of those hearing or, was it hearing or
Vision.
vision impaired?
vision impaired,
Purchase and install.
yes.
Oh, hey, speaking of install, I did a little research. Unless you're using a machine to put the signs in, you don't have to do a one call. It's only if you're using the machine.
You probably drive it right through something.
So will post driver, I've done it before.
I was like,
Call.
we did
Yeah,
Got a
second.
motion and a second to buy two
visual impaired signs
Yeah.
and install.
and
That's
install
first.
on Highland Avenue.
On
How do you vote?
Mike,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ed,
Yep.
Where are you paying it out of?
Chairman.
All right,
We need-
you got more?
Well, we need to, I just wanted to address what Steve said about them being in our 66.5 foot right of way on Old National. We're gonna,
We haven't even talked about that.
It's the chief's on it, aren't you?
Depends on what we're talking about.
They're digging down there next to the road.
Well, I mean, I notified Sewell Conservation,
okay.
I mean, but
But Steve sent an email out that they're in the right of way. They've cut so far over that they're in our, I think, didn't you went down and measured it, right, Ed?
that wasn't included in the string, I hadn't been notified, but I
Okay.
mean,
I don't know what we need to do with them, just, you know, I mean, they're getting awful damn close to the road, I know that.
Like what happens if that road slips down?
That's right, I mean, they're
Yeah,
into
well, if
the,
if the toe's gone,
Steve says they're into the
it's
toe.
going. How about if we authorize the solicitor to send them a letter saying that they're in
Yeah,
our right of way and
Yeah.
it needs to be fixed?
you, do you have the
we had
original
record.
document?
Yes,
with
sir.
the award,
huh?
with the width of the right of way? Do you have the original document with the award with the width of the right of way? Because that's not a standard width.
66 foot.
66.
66 footer.
That's- Yeah.
I'd have to look back at what Steve sent, but yeah, I can show it to you or send it to you or,
No, I mean, just before we send them a letter.
Yeah.
I'm sure we
Old
would know
National.
the documents.
yeah, we went through that when different things down there, 66 something or 66,
It's 66.
66 even.
The motion is to have the solicitor send a letter?
Yeah.
That's 33 feet in the center, right?
Yes.
They're probably.
All right.
I call you for details, Mike, for the road and all that, or who should I call? Tammy
That's fine.
or Ed?
Either one.
Oh, you were pointing this way. From this side, I could go.
Yeah, either
All
one.
right.
I'm just saying because I saw it in an email and I thought it needed addressed.
Are you going to include all the other problems?
No, just that one right now. That's an imminent problem.
So is the fact that they don't have any silt fence up and they're digging right next to a
That's
primary
what he's
creek.
gonna-
And don't
that's-
say it's not the township's problem. It is the township's problem.
Kathy,
You have a land
Kathy,
development problem.
Our part of that is to get a hold of Conservation District. That's their problem from that point on. They have to
It's
come
your
up.
problem that they're not following
We
your
don't have-
land development ordinance. They should have given you plans before they moved the first piece of dirt. It's over an acre, Mike.
You're right, it's over an acre.
So why are you letting them do this? Yous were elected to follow the ordinances. You have a land development ordinance
We
on the
just-
books. And you're letting them do whatever they want and they're not
We
following
got
the
code
ordinance.
enforcement on it. What more do you want?
Well, when the
You only told me-
project's done, then we're gonna start enforcing it?
What do you want us to do, Dave?
Follow
Follow
your
the
land
ordinance.
development
Real simple.
ordinance.
We have, did you go down and let them know they were in violation?
No, sir, this is the first time I was told they didn't have permits.
Oh.
Today. I
Oh,
actually,
okay.
I actually had a call today where they were dumping stone on the road.
Right.
I had to go down there and get them to get the stone off the road. So I contacted the office to find out whether they had permission for the for the driveways. Seems to be some discrepancy on that as well. But it appears you guys actually voted to give them the driveways. So, I mean, they were good on that. And in that discussion, I found out that apparently, staff has been pursuing this, but I've not been notified of any. Today was the first time I heard anything about it.
Okay. Who's been pursuing it?
Just staff, sir. Staff from the township is, anything else would be up to the board.
We're not calling it a soil conservation though?
Well, so.
Yeah, well, he turned it over to me.
Part of it
Well,
does.
okay, so I called soil conservation as an observation. I saw what was going on down there. That's how we've handled it in the past. I didn't know if anybody was doing anything or not, so I called Washington County. I have not discussed it with them. I've left them messages. So it's, that's where it is right now.
So
Ed,
you're saying they have no permits for anything down there?
Ma'am, I don't know.
Well, hold on, Tammy, are you in charge of the office? Do you know?
As of right now, we don't know if they have any permits or not. We've been,
That's why I don't know.
yeah.
They
We're
didn't
waiting.
present an excavation plan to you before they started moving dirt? It's land development, they're not,
Yes.
Ed,
I work construction, and I know a lot of other people that work construction around here. And if you start a job like that, and you don't have the proper permitting, they shut you down immediately.
We actually should be issuing a cease and desist order.
Yeah, let's do that, if they're in violation.
Yeah.
So we know they don't have permits?
Yeah,
Gotta
it's-
confirm that.
Yeah, we've not been able to get permits from anyone.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they have permits, when they get the letters, I'm gonna show them to you.
well, well,
Yeah.
then you said you haven't been able to get permits, so you guys have been investigating this? I mean, this is the first, I only heard
I
about it,
sent
like,
the email.
Friday?
You told me in an email,
That
she
No, on
told me.
Friday, that's the
you
first
told
time
me
I heard
that
about
he
it.
didn't have any authority in it, is what you told me.
On Friday, that's the first time I
Guys-
saw that.
Guys, technically, I am not a code enforcement officer. We had this discussion at the reorganization meeting. This is outside of my skill set. I'm a police officer here. I can do health and safety, I can do a meeting.